popular movie trope regarding a clever way to get out of prison that pops up in westerns from time to time, and also in the movie Pirates of the Caribbean that goes something like this. A person who wants to escape from prison either very convincingly pretends to be dead, or they know how to get access to the prison morgue. Then once they get into the morgue, again, either by playing dead or by sneaking in, they climb into a coffin and continue to play dead, whether they play dead to begin with or if they snuck in. And the prison regularly takes the coffins out for burial, and once buried or thrown into the sea, the escapee then digs out or swims out and gains their freedom. I have painstakingly described this scenario that is played out in several movies because, in an odd way, it offers us an illustration of how Jesus' death and resurrection saves us from sin and death, and by extension, the rest of the creation as well. Paul gives us an explanation of humanity's slavery to sin in Romans chapter 6, in which he explains that essentially we can't do what we know what we should do. And we are aware of this, and we're also aware of the fact that we are on an expressway track leading to death, because the wages of sin is death. And sadly, all of creation, not just people, are bound in this awful mess. Elsewhere, the Apostle Paul explains that even if we do not violate a known rule of decency, that we are still spiritually enslaved. Our natures are bent towards sin. We may hold back due to fear of consequences, but we are messed up in the head and heart nonetheless. And it is clear that this enslavement will result in death. It is like a terminal illness, if you will. Have you ever wondered why our country and other countries as well seem to regularly get into the same kinds of muddles over and over again? Or have you ever wondered why it is that political leaders, religious figures, celebrities keep getting caught in the same bad behavior over and over again? Have you ever wondered why we keep acting so surprised when it happens? Well, it's called sin. We all have it. We are all a mess to some degree or another. To expect otherwise is foolishness, and sadly, it is no small thing either. People have their lives ruined and lives taken over sin. And not always our own either. It is very common for the innocent to suffer because of the evil of others. Sometimes it is the sin of an other that destroys us. Regardless of how it happens, maybe we can start to appreciate why then Paul refers to sin as a form of brutal enslavement. We cannot escape it by our own means. The only solution is death. The only way one that is enslaved to sin is ever free from it is in death. But that is also the wages of sin. If we die ruled by sin, we have no hope of ever being reunited with the Father. Because death is the sentence of the guilty, unless someone found out a way to cheat death. Jesus has no sin. But he dies for our sakes. He dies because of sin. He dies to break the hold of the slave master, sin. By dying on the cross, he puts to shame the powers of darkness that are the servants of sin. When we profess faith in Jesus Christ, Paul says that we, in some cosmic way, are united to Christ in his death. We, in essence, are seen as going through his death with him. And that is why conversion is so dramatic, whether it is in a single moment or a series of moments spread out over time. It doesn't matter. It is a literal dying to oneself, saying, Jesus, I will go with you anywhere. If we die with Jesus, we are free from sin. But Jesus didn't stay dead. Jesus rose because he is God in the flesh, God the Son. He couldn't stay dead. His perfect life made death's hold over him void. Death is the result of sin. Jesus had no sin. Therefore, even in death, Jesus comes back to life and Jesus lives. Now, if we died with Jesus, we also rise with him. We are already living our new lives here and now when we proclaim faith in Jesus Christ. And they will go on into eternity. But now we are truly free from sin. That is why, as Christians, and in particular as Methodists, sanctification is so important. Will we mess up? Sure. We have yet to be fully made new. We need to spend a lifetime of following Jesus for that. But we should no longer live as being ruled by sin. We are now free to live the way that Jesus calls us to. Impossible on our own, but we are unstoppable when we are raised with Christ. Let us consider how we can live the resurrected life now, free from the bondage of sin, so that we might be the hands and feet of Jesus to the world. When we put our faith in Jesus Christ and in his death and resurrection, we are cheating sin and death. We are taking that ride out of the prison in the coffin of our old lives. And Jesus stands waiting on the other side, waiting to usher us into new life and into freedom. So as we close this day, my question for you, ponder this week, is what are you going to do with the new life that you have? Amen.
Amen.